Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppers, today joined by...
Me, just Michael.
Yes, and we're doing a bit of a throwback or a re-review video. I don't know what it's going to be called because I have quite a few beers that are basically throwback videos at the moment sitting in the queue, and I can't wait and, only post these things every Thursday then. But, so this might be a Throwback Thursday or a just re-review, but we're trying some classic American beer today. We're trying Surly Brewing Co.'s Furious IPA. So Surly is one of those breweries back in the day that I really was hyped about. I couldn't get it in Europe, but when I studied in Albuquerque, some fans sent me Surly beers, which was awesome. And I got to try a lot of their range. I even was sent, some people sent me Darkness, their big stout, which is interesting. That was hyped, but it was not like barrel aged or anything back then. It was just a imperial stout in a big bomber bottle with wax. You can't sell that as a hype offering these days.
No.
It's like, shit, this is a big stout. Like these days it has to be with all kinds of stupid adjuncts and barrel aged 5 times. But this was a legendary brewery, or still is to some extent. I don't know how their beer range is these days. I think they are not doing exactly the same things, but I remember the Furious and Abrasive Ale and also Bender, their brown ale and coffee Bender, they did those, but I think Darkness is the one that's mainly notable. There was also like Pentagram and Seven, and they also did a smoked lager, like a Baltic Porter or a smoked malt. It was really good. Which I can't remember.
I haven't tasted a lot of them.
You can just go on the channel page and on the search bar, type in Surly, and you'll see what we've tried over the years. But my boss Frederick was recently in Sweden to brew a collaboration beer with OO Brewing, and he went to Systembolaget to have a look and see what they had, and he was like, "Oh, they have Surly." So he picked up some Surly cans and gave me one. But the thing that is a bit of a shame, though, is that this was canned in April last year, April 19th. And we're, March?
Yeah, March 27th.
Yeah. So this is almost a year in the can. That's too old for an IPA. Yeah. But we're going to review it anyway and try and see how it is.
It's settled now.
Yeah. So this is 6.7% American IPA. It's iconic, hoppy, and aggressive. It says here on the can. And we've got some more info on the beer itself from Surly's website. It's the beer that built Surly. It's aggressively hopped and citrusy with a chewy caramel malt backbone. Surly's called Surly due to our inability to find a good beer in town. Furious is one of the first beers we brewed to rectify that situation. The rest is history. Still independently owned brewery as well, this one. So they use English ale yeast, which is quite different. Back in the day, I think most people, when they did like bitter hoppy beers, it was Chico, like American ale yeast. And then the malt composition is American 2-row, Golden Promise, which is English pale malt, aromatic malt, medium crystal, and roasted barley. And the hops are Warrior, Athenum, Cascade, Simcoe, and Amarillo. So a really old school blend of American hops. So let's check it out. I mean, I think this is what people think when people say West Coast IPA these days. Or like if people are not following what's going on the West Coast, like this is what people remember. These amber colored beers that were quite bitter.
I'm always thinking of Arrogant Bastard.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
But also just like Green Flash West Coast.
Yeah.
IPA. But if you think back to Alpine, Stone IPA, Sculpit, some of these, they weren't this dark.
No, they were brighter.
They were brighter. And there was even, like, I think Happy Birthday from Alpine was really pale. So there's definitely also pale, West Coast IPAs around back then. Maybe not as pale as now, where they're, like, paler than Pilsners or as pale as Pilsners. But, it's like that nice copper color. It's slightly hazy hue to it. And a tan head. Let's check out the aroma on Abrasive. This is so old school.
Yeah. Wow.
This is...
you can't find this anywhere today.
Nope. Not at all.
But it's still... I'm really looking forward to tasting this because I've missed it. I really missed it.
This smells like getting into craft beer 12 years ago.
I totally agree.
It is really nostalgic. But you can
it smells like headache.
A little bit. But one of the things you really notice...
I always drink a lot.
Really bready and crystal malt heavy. Sweet crystal malt. Toffee, stuff like that. And you totally smell that's helped oxidize the hops because you're getting that like tea leaf, Earl Grey kind of aroma. And that's something I always associated with American IPAs in the past. I thought that was a part of the profile. But the main reason for that being apparent is because the beers we got were old. Back then, like 6 months would be fresh for an American beer. These days, you get American beer that are like 4 and 5 weeks old sometimes, or max 3, like because of fresh imports and keeping things cold shipped. So you get things really fresh. Like you can totally smell that there's oxidation going on. There's even like a bit of like sherry or something to it. But otherwise, like really grapefruity hops as well.
Yeah.
Sweet sugar-coated pink grapefruit.
I totally agree. Yeah. Pine
and resin. Like it smells really oily.
Yeah.
Smells really old money. It does. It smells fairly decent. I mean, it's a year in the can, so.
It has some smell like grønkål.
And cabbagey?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't really pick up on that, but that could be like leafy hop material being stuck around. But for me, it's just like these big times, like really sticky hop nuances, like loads of hot side hops.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Freddie. Really bitter. really bitter.
I really love this bitterness. I really enjoy it.
I mean, that's the biggest thing it's got going for it right now. I'd say.
Yeah, but my God, it's bitter.
Yeah, it's really freaking bitter. It's somewhat impressive that this is a year old, I think.
It tastes okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this would be much better fresher, but there's still some grapefruity, citrusy hop character left. Like they must use a lot of. I think also using lots of hot side hops will make the beer more shelf stable over time. The flavor will be quite different, but you'll get this oily flavor.
Bitter orange peel.
Yeah. Pine, cheese, resin.
It's scrapingly bitter.
Like this. Give this to anyone who drinks hazy IPA, and they're going to be like. But and then it's got loads of that sugar-coated pink grapefruit.
Yes, within a bunch of hazies, and then this.
Yeah, I freaking love the bitterness of this.
Me too.
Like it would be fun to brew something like this, where you just emphasize that you should drink it fresh.
Yeah, that could be really nice.
And using a big blend of U.S. hops, use the same amounts that people are using these days, like a really heavily hopped old school beer. That'd be pretty fun. But I actually think this is pretty decent. I'm thinking like 87, 88, something like that.
Yeah, I could agree on that one.
For a beer that's almost a year old, it's holding up rather well.
I must say, definitely.
I don't know if they pasteurize or anything just to try and make it.
But these kind of IPAs also hold up better than New England IPAs.
Yeah. Because there's so many hot side hops and the bitterness is so intense and a big part of the flavor profile. And that's not going anywhere. But it's just like the hop flavors will fade.
Yeah.
But even though this is so old, there's still a decent amount of freaking hop flavor.
Yeah, and surprisingly little sherry. I know there's oxidation, but I assume there would be more.
Massive amounts.
No.
I think that's like the case in point for using lots of hot side hops versus like cold side. If you're a bigger brewery, you need to look at maybe more hot side hoppings to have a shelf stable product because it goes everywhere. But if you're a small brewery, you can do these things with
and get more nuance.
And use the loads of dry hop and whatnot because you're not relying on massive volumes to sit everywhere. So where the beer, because you want shelf stability to be good when you make beer, and especially if you make a lot of beer, you want to make sure that there's not off cans on shelves. Yeah, so I think that's why this is also something that works well in like a bigger scale. Because I think Surly are a fairly big brewery now. They're still a craft brewery in terms of size and whatnot, but I think they've gotten to a pretty. I've seen pictures. It looks like a pretty damn big facility.
Okay.
So, but really fun to revisit this one. And
definitely, yeah.
Is this your first have you had Surly before?
Not Surly IPAs. I think I've had Surly a long, long time ago.
Maybe Darkness. I think they were also at some of the first ABCCs.
I could look it up.
No, they were not. It was just Todd that was there. I'm not sure.
No.
But this was fun.
It was nice.
Yeah, this was nice. Oh wait, no. It is fresher.
You switched the month and the
No, it's because there was a Swedish sticker with an expiration date that said April, and then I just assumed that it was.
I thought you looked underneath. What is the date?
It was canned on the 9th of November.
Oh,
so it's half a year.
Yeah.
So okay, that explains why it still has a bit more hop flavor.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's good that we found that out here in the end.
Yeah, but our taste buds is not totally off then.
No. But one of the interesting things then is like all the oxidized kind of type flavors that's happened is probably due to the crystal malts. And I know 6 months you might also have something happen. It also depends on storage and whatnot. If this has been cold shipped,
did you say November?
Yeah, because it's a month.
Yeah, 9th November.
Year.
Yeah.
In Europe, it's day, month, year.
Yeah, that's quite okay for a beer like this.
I think so. Like I would drink other beer styles over this. I think modern West Coast IPAs and whatnot, but once in a while I like this, and I would love to drink something like this, like really refreshing.
Yes.
So yeah, if you guys had a chance to try a Surly Furious, let us know what you thought of it. Also, if you had a chance to revisit it, this was really fun. So as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check the Facebook fan page, and join our Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos, and we're going to say, well, I'm going to say cheers.
I have a little bit.
And see you guys in a little bit real.